Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Gut feeling, Cowboys vs Giants staff predictions. The Cowboys are trying to snap a 2-game losing streak this season against a Giants team that picked up its first win of the season. Both teams are 1-2, having defeated Cleveland on the road. The Cowboys dominated the Giants 89-17 in the regular season last year. But let's see if that carries over to 2024, where the team ranks last in run defense and 30th in rushing offense. Here are the staff predictions. Patrick Walker, the lone victory through the first 3 games is on the road, while the 2 losses are at home, so maybe the Cowboys will have better luck this season playing in hostile territory than in the confines of their own living room, but time will tell. What time has already told us, however, is that Dallas is struggling mightily to stop the run, and it's creating a scenario in which they're disallowed to rush the passer, their bread and butter, and up next is the rookie dynamo Malik Neighbors ready to do numbers. All told, is this a game the Cowboys should win? Yes, because they own Daniel Jones. Is it one they'll likely win? Sure, because Dak Prescott owns the Giants. But I need to see them stop the run and get off to a fast and convincing start offensively, so I'll challenge them to prove me wrong this week in a positive direction, seeing as they proved me wrong the last 2 weeks in a negative one. Show me you're pissed off, fellas. Giants 17-16. Nick Eatman, I firmly believe the NFL is all about matchups. Just look around the league and look at who beats who one week and then loses to someone unexpected the next week. The NFL is crazy to predict, especially in the first month. I just refuse to believe the Cowboys have fallen off so dramatically, and I don't think the Giants have caught up that much in 1 year. This was a team the Cowboys beat by a combined 89-17 last year. All of a sudden, they can't win on the road? I'm not buying it. And I've seen this game before, where the team seems to be bickering with each other and pointing fingers but somehow gets to the game and it clicks. Maybe it wouldn't click against another team, but this franchise that Dak has beaten 12 straight times, I think that just might be the trick. I think Rico Dowdle goes over 100 total yards and Micah Parsons gets 2 sacks. CeeDee Lamb will be a difference maker with a big game that might not have the greatest stat sheet, but he'll make plays. I see a lot of people saying the Cowboys have to prove it before they can be trusted. Well, that's how I feel about the Giants playing the Cowboys. I just have to see it for myself. So, with that, I say the Cowboys get back on track with a 31-13 win. Mickey Spagnola, my gut is not feeling so well after being so wrong about the predicted outcome of the past 2 games, and I hate to be wrong. So, swore I would not pick the Cowboys to win a game until they first show me they are capable of winning another game. Yet I think the Cowboys just have more talent than the Giants, and shame on them if they don't win. So instead of predicting a score, I'm predicting Trayvon Diggs, with 3 games under his belt after returning from last year's torn ACL, will have a shutdown game reminiscent of his Pro Bowl years and leading the NFL with 11 interceptions in 2021. So there. Kyle Humans, I find it hard to believe this team doesn't have some level of response after another poor outing. Especially after a week full of frustration and against a team who Dallas has dominated over the last few seasons. The fourth quarter and confidence boost from the offense has me feeling a little more optimistic about this week. But if they fall in a game like this, I may not pick the Cowboys to win until Thanksgiving. Cowboys should win this one, 27-20. Aaron Andrews apologized to Mike McCarthy before interview amid Cowboys struggles. Tasked with interviewing Mike McCarthy as the Dallas Cowboys were getting blown out by the Baltimore Ravens, Aaron Andrews began with an apology. With the Cowboys trailing Baltimore 21-6 at halftime, playing terribly on both sides of the ball and staring at a 1-2 start to their season, having to stop their head coach for an interview on his way out of the locker room is undoubtedly an awkward position to be in. And on the latest episode of their Calm Down podcast, Andrews told co-host Carissa Thompson about her exchange with McCarthy during the Fox broadcast. Yesterday couldn't have been worse for the Dallas Cowboys. Well, it could have been worse. I did the game a couple days after their strength trainer passed away in front of all of them, Andrews recalled. I worked that game 3 days later and it was horrible. But in terms of a team struggling on both sides of the ball, that is where we kind of earning our money as sideline reporters and feel bad if you have a heart as a broadcaster. Yes, it's part of the job, it's why these guys are paid. But standing in the hallway waiting for Mike McCarthy to come out after he addressed his team and trying to stop the bleeding on both sides of the ball in that Ravens-Cowboys game, I looked at him as he walked out and I said, "Coach, I am so sorry." And he goes, "Why are you sorry? This is your job." I loved him so much for that. He's just so lovely and sweet. McCarthy has been on the hot seat in Dallas pretty much since Jerry Jones hired him to be the Cowboys' head coach. And that seat has only gotten hotter as calls for the Cowboys to replace McCarthy with Bill Belichick grow louder. All that to say, McCarthy shouldn't be rattled by having to answer a few questions from Andrews while his team was struggling at halftime. The apology wasn't necessary, but it showed Andrews recognized the human element of being a head coach in the NFL while your season is in turmoil. McCarthy likely would have been respectful of the job Andrews was tasked with for Fox regardless, but you can't fault a coach for not wanting to be engaging down 21-6 halftime. And Andrews breaking the ice by addressing the uneasiness of having to do an interview in that spot was a pro move from arguably the best sideline reporter in sports media. Darren Bland injury update from Mike McCarthy hints at good news. The Dallas Cowboys defense has been in shambles for the past 2 weeks. It's something that no one can hide from after back-to-back embarrassing losses at home. While the Cowboys' run defense has been a big talking point after getting ran all over by Derrick Henry in Week 3, the secondary was exposed by the New Orleans Saints and Derek Carr in Week 2. Dallas has been forced to start rookie Kalen Carson following an injury to All-Pro cornerback Darren Bland, which forced him to undergo surgery at the end of the preseason. Bland was placed on IR, but is eligible to return after 4 to 6 weeks. While Carson has been solid during his time as a starter, fans are eager to see Bland suit up across the field from fellow All-Pro Trayvon Diggs. Luckily for the Cowboys and Cowboys Nation, Bland could be closer to his return than many would have imagined. Bland returned to the sideline for practice this week and went through his rehab work on the sideline. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy then revealed a further update following practice. "We always felt like the Pittsburgh game is the point where we'd have more information," said McCarthy, per DallasCowboys.com. "With this mini-bye week, we're hoping things will rev up there. Having an all-pro defense would be welcomed for a defensive unit that has struggled, and the minute the Cowboys open his 21-day practice window there will be a spark for the team." The fourth game Bland is required to miss on IR is just over 24 hours away, so by the end of the week, Cowboys Nation could get the positive news they have been waiting for. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Darren Bland? Leave your opinion in the comments.